channel.
Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it, man?
Welcome everyone to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class. This is my co-host,
Mr. J. What's going on, guys? We're back at it again with another one for you. And we would like to remind you, if you like this video, if you like this content, go in the section below. Like, comment, subscribe. And share.
All right, yeah. And okay, so two things I want to talk about. One, I think at this point, hopefully the numbers are where they are. We have hit 200 subscribers. Thank you all No Press fam for all the support. Hopefully that 200 stays there. And the next year it'll be 200 still, but currently right now we're at 200 subscribers, so we really appreciate it. Thank you guys. 2 years in, we keep getting those subscribers. Keep them coming, guys. Honestly, you guys just keep building our empire a little bit more every time. And considering that this is the last or the end of the year, we wanted to do one more episode that's going to really kick it off and start the new year right. Before it starts, we're going to end it with a bang. And what better way than representing some really interesting characters, huh? All right. So today's episode, we're going to be doing a team matchup, and I'm going to be representing DC Comics, The Suicide Squad. Okay. So who is in my corner? You got General Zod. You got Lobo. You got Cheetah. You got Enchantress. Let me see. Who else did I get? Oh, you got Rose Wilson. And I think that's about it, right? Oh, and then there's Bloodsport. Okay. So those are 5 members of the Suicide Squad members. No, 5 or 6. Let me remember. 5, yeah. There's supposed to be, 6 members of the Suicide Squad. So you got Bloodsport, Enchantress, General Zod, Cheetah, Lobo, and Rose Wilson. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Okay. So who am I going to put against who? You might be asking yourself. Well, I'm going to put Bloodsport against Gambit. I'm going to put Enchantress against the Phoenix. I'm going to put Cheetah against Wolverine. Rose Wilson against Psylocke. General Zod against Storm. And Lobo against Colossus. Okay. So let's start things off with Bloodsport versus Gambit. Now, in the movie, it's kind of it's not exactly the full depth of what Bloodsport can do, because in the comics, it's a little bit different. He doesn't do like just grab little gadgets and then they just make more and more weapons. No, he can conjure weapons just by having it thought in his hand, and it just comes to his hand. So there is a device out there in the vacuum of space that has an arsenal of weapons that is either created by Amanda Waller's investment or Lex Luthor Corp's investment. Either way, Bloodsport's able to conjure a weapon out of nowhere that he can think of. It can be any kind of weapon. Psionic, it could be electro, it can be an atomic bomb weapon. He pretty much conjure anything out of it, just at the thought of it. So I do believe the unlimited amount of weapons he has, that's going to come in handy. But here's the thing. The strategy is keep Gambit away from you, because his ability is to touch something and then boom, blows things up. So you don't want obviously Gambit touching any of your weapons, because obviously he'll destroy the weapon, and then you got to keep on conjuring more weapons. At some point, Gambit is going to get the upper hand. At some point, all he's got to do is keep touching, and everything's going to keep blowing up. So Bloodsport's best bet is range, because obviously the distance gives him time to conjure multiple weapons during the battle. So if he can create distance from Gambit and start using his arsenal of weapons to just keep conjuring every single moment while Gambit's trying to throw those cards or anything like that, while he has that shield that can protect him, that has fought against dimensional creatures, I do believe at some point Bloodsport's experience and different dimensional expertise does give him much more of a fighting edge advantage against somebody who's fought, regular field characters from mutant worlds, which is fine, but we're talking about other dimensions that could be more complicating, much more challenging. So I do believe that Bloodsport, with his unlimited arsenal, will put Gambit down for the count at some point. Now, Cheetah versus Wolverine. So Cheetah does have a healing factor. Is it going to be as incredibly as durable I want to say as Wolverine, no. Wolverine has his accelerating healing factor is incredible. He has the adamantium body. So the only thing she has to her favor is her incredible speed. Speed does come in handy during a fight against somebody who cannot really hit a blow on you. So if Cheetah decides to go against Wolverine, I think her best bet is using her speed to just kind of do a lot of dodging while Wolverine is thrown down. Now, I don't believe Cheetah could officially take Wolverine down by herself. No, I don't think that's possible. She could use her tail to throw him around, maybe strangle him, but it wouldn't be enough to take him and choke him out because obviously the adamantium body is going to keep him from being completely crushed. So even though Cheetah is capable of holding her own against Wonder Woman, I do believe that she's going to need some backup during this fight. So I'll say who she needs backup from during this fight afterwards, but let's just go from here. The next one I want to say, Lobo versus Colossus. Okay. Lobo matches the level of Superman, which I think is fair to say means that he has the strength to inflict amount of pain to Colossus's body. Given his immense strength to pretty much pull a planet, I do believe he can hold his own against Colossus. Colossus is strong, but planet carrying strong, I don't think so. He's there, but he's not quite there. Maybe if he had the Juggernaut's power with him, he would be able to do something like that. But since Colossus is just, pretty strong, he's not completely over the top strong, I will give it to Lobo in that situation. All right. If he can't physically, then he can intellectually, since he's pretty good at a gifted weapons inventor. So let's say in a hypothetical situation where Lobo and Colossus are fighting, again, Lobo is pretty intelligent. He was able to counter-maneuver some of Flash's speed, even though he's not a speedster. He was able to think a physics away around Flash's speed. And that's saying something, considering the fact that he thought of that on his feet. So let's say hypothetically, Lobo is fighting Colossus. He's obviously going to know that he's made out of a certain special type of metal. And at some point, creation-wise, Lobo could invent something that could probably heat that form of metal. He could probably trap that form of metal, given him enough time, considering the fact that Lobo can go all day. He can literally just go. Him and Colossus are going to throw down nonstop because both of them are self-sustaining. Lobo can survive in space. Colossus can survive as long as he keeps his armor on. He can survive from starvation, from space, anywhere else too. So both of them can throw down till the end of time. But the one thing that's going to give Lobo that upper advantage is the tech weapon that he has to probably put enough pressure on Colossus to maybe heat the metal or probably trap the metal in a way where Lobo can work on him and put him down for the count. In that way, either way you want to put it, Lobo could also just probably, again, bring his bike for distraction, use a weapon that is planet destroying type and just blow Colossus out of existence again, and then just go and help the other team members in that way. All right, General Zod versus Storm. Okay, let's talk about reaction time because I think that is a factor. Storm is capable of conjuring a tremendous amount of weather and probably a certain amount of time, but let's get real. That's going to take time. Especially if you're conjuring a force of magnitude, maybe it might not take hours or minutes, but it would take a tremendous amount of seconds to do that. In which case, that is where General Zod might have the advantage to his point. Now, he has super speed and super strength. As long as he's near the sun, he has that one advantage to put Storm out for the count. Now, he would have to do it quickly before Storm could conjure her weather. It could conjure any kind of power. He would have to go super fast up in the air, choke her out, or shoot her or hit her hard before she can conjure anything, and just keep working on that before she can do anything. Until one point, he can shoot her with his heat ray and blast her eye sockets out or blast her out in that way. I do believe General Zod, as long as he goes quick, because he is the most expertise and experienced fighter, I do believe he knows that fighting somebody with a conjuring of magnitude of ability, he knows that he would have to put her out for the count quickly. So he goes in for that quick speed, snaps the necks or shoots her with the lasers, or just keeps throwing all those punches. I do believe Storm will go down at some point. General Zod will continue on in that round. All right, Rose Wilson versus Psylocke. Now, that's a challenge. Okay. Rose could hold her own against Psylocke, but I'm going to be fair, limited. Obviously, Psylocke has a lot more in her possession. She has that ability to use psionic blast, psionic weapons. She's able to, read minds. She's able to fly. She's able to do a lot of incredible things. But the reason why I think that's why I do believe Rose will still have enough time to go against her, because again, Rose still has that healing factor. You have to consider that's still in her favor. Another thing to consider is that she is able to predict fighters' moves after a certain amount of time being with them. So getting into a fight with somebody, she will be able to predict Psylocke's move even without needing to be psychic to do it. So let's say they get into a long period of fight. I do believe at one point Rose Wilson will be able to counter maneuver fighting tactic move from Psylocke. Do I believe that she'll be able to put her down for the count? No, I don't think she'll be able to put her down with the count. But do I think she could do it with some assistance? Oh yeah, I think she could. And then here comes Bloodsport. Now, he gets to Gambit out. Bloodsport and Rose Wilson together, that's a deadly combination. You got one who is trained by the Terminator herself, and then you got another one who can conjure unlimited amount of weapons. I do believe that that's going to play a factor. So if she doesn't see Bloodsport coming, and Bloodsport out of nowhere conjures up a weapon that shoots Psylocke from the back, that's going to be an ultimate distraction. Even if Psylocke goes against Bloodsport and starts throwing down with him, again, you still have Rose Wilson to consider. Two of these great characters, one with unlimited amount of weapons and another one with a healing factor ability. I eventually believe that Psylocke will get overwhelmed, eventually put down for the count. Eventually, Bloodsport will find a weapon to put Psylocke in her place, and then it'll be game over for that. And then Rose Wilson and Bloodsport will be able to move on and continue to help their teams out. We talked about the Cheetah and Wolverine situation. Wolverine could overtake Cheetah. That's a fact. But if you got Lobo, nah, I don't think so. If Lobo comes in after taking down Colossus, there is a very good fighting chance that Lobo will be able to help Wolverine be put down in his place. And yeah, hold on, sorry. Cheetah, I forgot who was going to get there. So Cheetah would be able to hold her own against Wolverine for a certain amount of time with the speed to counter maneuver a lot of the moves. Eventually, it's not going to be enough, obviously. There's not enough throw and enough hits that Cheetah could do to put Wolverine down. But if she has Lobo in her corner, that extra muscle, that's enough to do the trick. Speed of the sixth fastest person in DC Comics, against also with someone who is strong enough to pull a planet out of its own orbit. I have to say, those two combinations together are so deadly that even though Wolverine does have adamantium armor and does have a healing factor to an extreme acceleration, eventually he's going to be worn out and put down for the count at some point. The last one. Phoenix and Enchantress. This is an interesting one. Both can alter reality. Okay? Both can alter reality. That's already saying something in itself. They're kind of in a stalemate. I think that the only way these two can really win is if they have their team. If they have even one or two extra members on their team to help against one or the other, I do believe that would give them the upper advantage, that extra push needed to get the win done. Because Enchantress could just conjure up all the weapons while the other teammates are keeping Phoenix in a pretty occupied state. So here's where I think it gets interesting. So you got maybe only General Zod with the assistance, I do believe might come in handy. Now, I do believe that General Zod would be taken out of commission during this battle, obviously against somebody with the Phoenix Force thrown at you. You ain't gonna beat that. But if he gets taken out, I think it's a great distraction, a very tremendous distraction, to a point where it gives Enchantress enough time to alter any of the powers that she wants to from Phoenix. She could probably alter her force. She could probably detach her force. She could probably take the force herself if she wanted to. Enchantress is that powerful and that strong. So I do believe that, given the fact that Enchantress has the ability to alter reality, and if she's given enough time of a diversion created, I do believe that she could take the Phoenix Force out of her host, even claim the Phoenix Force for herself, or even throw the Phoenix Force or put it in a trap where it's kept somewhere, or throw the Phoenix Force into a different dimension. As long as it's separated from the host, the Phoenix Force can only do a limited amount of things. So I will say, with General Zod in her corner, Enchantress's unlimited amount of resource and power, I do believe the Suicide Squad has this in the bag.
Okay. And I will be representing Marvel's X-Men. Now, This is gonna be difficult. This is gonna be difficult for sure because he definitely has 3 big heavy hitters in this fight. They're gonna be very difficult to take out. Some of the alignment are actually the same as mine. I do agree with sticking Rose Wilson with Psylocke. I do agree with that. However, my strategy as far as that fight goes, that round, is not to kill Rose Wilson. It is to actually use her. Now, what I mean by that is given Psylocke's stealth, her ninja skills, and her fighting ability, as well as her telekinesis and her telekinetic abilities, not only do I think she could kill Rose Wilson, but I do believe she could take over her mind, at least for a temporary time, to use her as an ally. So that's how I believe Psylocke takes over this round. Not by killing Rose, but by using her as an addition to the team. It will at least be enough to surprise at least one member of her team. And Psylocke can use that to eliminate one of the other weaker opponents, which would be either Cheetah or Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Now, even if she's not able to kill Bloodsport, and if just able to wound him, sticking him against Gambit is extremely difficult, especially with Gambit's speed and his agility. Gambit's extremely fast as well. A lot of people don't really give Gambit, the credit that he deserves, but he's actually an extremely skilled fighter, as well as a master thief. I believe his strategy in this fight would be to steal Bloodsport's weapons, use them against him, use his superior technology, take away his armor. And Gambit can do that extremely simply by just touching Bloodsport. If he touches Bloodsport, especially on the head, on his helmet, and forces it to explode, Bloodsport is either going to be extremely wounded, disoriented, or just done for at that point. And that's how I believe Gambit takes away that round. So already the Suicide Squad is at least down maybe 2, 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5, considering Rose isn't really dead, but
Yeah, at least technically, yeah.
Yeah. I also agree with sticking Cheetah with Wolverine. But I also agree with you. I don't think Cheetah's got enough in her to take Logan out. Not in this fight, no. So, given that 2 members are already down, the X-Men's strategy in this fight is going to be to eliminate the weaker opponents first, and then work on the next 3.
Yeah.
Because the next 3 are the big ones. They are going to be what gives this team the big run for its money. So, if they are able to implicate the strategy like I had said, then they will be down at least 2 members. Logan takes out Cheetah, they're down 3. Now, sticking Phoenix with Enchantress, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna use a dirty tactic. I'm gonna do it. I know you guys hate when I do stuff like this, but I'm gonna do it. They both have the ability to alter reality, but Phoenix also has the ability to alter time and be extremely conscious of what the changes she has made will be. I mean, obviously she's able to destroy planets. I think she's even able to destroy star systems. So Phoenix has the power at least to destroy Enchantress, but I want to say just make it easy, go back in time, either kill Jane Moon before she gets to be the host, or just stop them from bonding. No more Enchantress. Come back to the fight, and now they're down 4. So, going back in time, eliminating Enchantress, will it be that easy? Obviously no. Enchantress probably has some type of spell or, some type of backup plan, who knows. But I want to say, if Phoenix can do it, if she can go back in time, stop Jane Moon from bonding with Enchantress, then she can eliminate her existence from that fight. And that would leave Lobo and General Zod. I would actually stick Storm with Lobo, just because I don't feel like Storm could kill Lobo. I feel like Lobo would kill Storm, but I feel like she has enough ability to at least keep him distracted and occupied for a time. Now, with the rest of his team gone, only General Zod backing him up, General Zod, I guess by default, would be going up against Colossus. Now, same thing with Colossus. I don't think he has enough to kill neither Zod nor Lobo, but him being self-sustaining is going to give him the time and the strategy he needs for the rest of his team to come and help out. Now, with the rest of his team there, I want to say they'd be able to, especially with the Phoenix in full effect, I want to say the X-Men take this one home. I don't think they take this away completely unscathed, though. I want to say Lobo and General Zod kill Gambit, Psylocke, and Storm, possibly even Wolverine. But I want to say the Phoenix would finish off the following two.
Yeah, I agree. In my side of the battle, I don't think it'd be all survivors. Obviously, Bloodsport and Rose Wilson, they're pretty two credible fighters, but they're still above average heroes compared to the Omega levels you got in there with Storm and Psylocke and Wolverine. I mean, when you got all three of those combinations, eventually they're going to take those characters out for the count, especially if they're bloodthirsty enough. Yeah, I do believe that's possible. And then obviously, yeah, the other couple of characters are pretty much more harder, a little more difficult to beat. But yeah, the basic characters are Cheetah too, I believe, could get taken out as well.
Forcing Storm into any of these 2-on-1 battles with Cheetah, Bloodsport, or Rose Wilson, I want to say that gives them the win, at least in that round. But,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, those are the team members I think would be taken down by at least Lobo and General Zod. I'm not even entirely sure Colossus would make it out, but I want to say the Phoenix has enough to eliminate General Zod and Lobo, given that she has the rest of her team in order to help her. By herself, no.
Okay. All right. Well, as always, No Press fam, it's not up to me. It's not up to my boy. It's up to you guys. So, if you guys liked my argument, you know what you can do? You can hashtag the Suicide Squad. And if you like my boy's argument, what can you do, brother?
Hashtag the X-Men.
And as always, No Press fam, we really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later.